or adjustments you guys need to make for game 2 after game 1?
It'd probably start with just a bit more physicality. I felt like at times we were physical, at times we were into the ball, into their bodies, and really brought a playoff level of intensity. And then there were stretches where it felt like we were just on the back foot a little bit, whereas it felt like they were crawling up into us that entire night. So we definitely have to take advantage of the refs letting us play during playoffs and show that we can be more of a physical unit and carry that over game to game and even just possession to possession. So I think that's the first thing. Obviously that'll help with the Kawhi problem that we had last night. And then just cleaning up a little bit of the game plan. Obviously not going to give you guys the ins and outs on that, but I think that we've kind of we've shored up some things there and cleared up some stuff going forward, and that'll help us tomorrow night.
That was your first playoff game.
It was my first playoff game. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I felt comfortable. There was a frantic minute there at the start where it just felt like the whole world was rushing by, but I felt like once I got to the line once, grabbed a couple O boards, I felt like I was back to myself. And when you're a first experienced guy, everyone always tells you like playoff basketball is different. Playoff basketball is more intense and physical and that. And there was like a little bit of like, what am I going into right now? So once I got out there and realised that it was nothing new, I dealt with it in Europe, I dealt with it in World Cups and Olympics, and I'm sure KD and Book can speak to the physicality on that as well. I realised it was nothing out of the ordinary for me, and I felt comfortable. So it was just that first initial shock of like, all right, like what am I in for? And then once I kind of got the ball in my hands a little bit, made just some regular Jock plays, I was all good.
Was that adjustment process a little more difficult when you don't play the first half and then you come in, you're called in the second half?
Look, I think on that one, it's if my body feels good and it's ready to go, it's not much of an adjustment. At the end of the day, I'm coming off the bench, and whether or not that's in the third quarter or the first quarter, it's all the same deal. So I really didn't feel like it was too much of a problem. Whatever happens tomorrow night and the games after that, I'll be ready to go. And I think that's the key piece for me, is staying mentally sharp, mentally aware of the game plan, and then whether it's the first 5 minutes of the game or the 25th minute, it doesn't really matter. Just having that headspace that I know that at some point throughout the game I'm going to go in, even if I don't. Like, I'm always aware of the potential is there, and I think that last night proved that. So
You've shown the ability this season to be able to punish mismatches, to make plays in the short roll. Do you feel like this is a matchup where that can kind of shine?
For sure. Look, a lot of my best games in the NBA have been against the Clippers. That's not to say that they're a team that plays into my hands in particular, but I definitely enjoy playing against them. They're still tough, they're still physical, and I felt that even on some of the switches last night, but I didn't look to punish them as much as I should have. So just knowing that that's going to be there and kind of, again, getting out of that frantic first minute of play, and now I've kind of settled into playoff basketball, I'll definitely be able to get back to doing some of that. And again, playing with Kevin and Book, playing in that short role, knowing that there's a willingness from those two and CP to pass into the low block if I've got a mismatch because they trust me down there, that does play into my favour a little bit. So you're just, capitalising on those opportunities, and I think that's kind of the basketball I've played throughout the year. Is I can be a guy that we can go to. I've proved that throughout my career at various levels, but opportunistic basketball is where it's at. And I think last night, just with the speed of how I felt things were moving by, I didn't capitalise on opportunities that I definitely should have. So knowing that now and having a feel for what it's going to be like going forward for the next 20 games or whatever it ends up being, I definitely feel comfortable that I'll get back on track in that regard.
Did your family come over?
Nah, family's not here yet. I'll probably fly them out depending on how deep we go. So I'm going to fly them out for the finals.
Were they up late? I guess watching or
up early? Up early. Yeah, they. I think they watch. They tend to not text me too much after basketball if we lose. So I'm sure I've got a message waiting on my phone right now. But they probably would have watched, I assume. Yeah.
After yesterday's slow start, what do you guys do kind of leading up to the game to have that juice right out of the gate?
Yeah, I think that's just the physicality. I think if it's whatever team hits first, whether or not that's on a rebound, a defensive play, offensive play, I think that we just need to be the ones who come out and hit first and show whoever it might be that does that, shows the rest of the group, right, like this is what we're in for the night. Let's bring this level of intensity, and I think when we do that, that'll kind of spark the whole group. I don't think I'm not a big believer on rah-rah in the locker room before the game and being, I think that there's a bit of fake energy behind that, but I think it'll be whoever comes out and really just, plants a shoulder into someone or a forearm, whatever it might be. I think that's going to really set the tone for us, and we'll see who's going to bring that tomorrow.
Thanks, John.
Cool.
Thanks,
Cheers, guys.
Appreciate it.